Talk to Tongie. DBS, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. All right, I gotta go. Bye. Hey, it's your friend Tongie from the Talk to Tongie show. This show is different because it's about you, inspiring you, motivating you right where you are. It's Thursday, DBS from 8 to 9 p.m. It's so much fun. I need you there. Talk to you soon. My name is Dr. Tongie. You're going to call me Tongie on this new show, Talk to Tongie, DBS, after DBS News World, Thursday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. It's all about you, so join me on social media, Talk to Tongie, all right? Talk to Tongie, DBS, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. All right, I gotta go. Bye. Hey, it's your friend Tongie from the Talk to Tongie show. This show is different because it's about you, inspiring you, motivating you right where you are. It's Thursday, DBS from 8 to 9 p.m. It's so much fun. I need you there. Talk to you soon. My name is Dr. Tongie. You're going to call me Tongie on this new show, Talk to Tongie, DBS, after DBS News World, Thursday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. It's all about you, so join me on social media, Talk to Tongie, all right? Talk to Tongie, DBS, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. All right, I gotta go. Bye. Hey, it's your friend Tongie from the Talk to Tongie show. This show is different because it's about you, inspiring you, motivating you right where you are. It's Thursday, DBS from 8 to 9 p.m. It's so much fun. I need you there. Talk to you soon. My name is Dr. Tongie. You're going to call me Tongie on this new show, Talk to Tongie, DBS, after DBS News World, Thursday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. It's all about you, so join me on social media, Talk to Tongie, all right? Talk to Tongie, DBS, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. All right, I gotta go. Bye. Hey, it's your friend Tongie from the Talk to Tongie show. This show is different because it's about you, inspiring you, motivating you right where you are. It's Thursday, DBS from 8 to 9 p.m. It's so much fun. I need you there. Talk to you soon. My name is Dr. Tongie. You're going to call me Tongie on this new show, Talk to Tongie, DBS, after DBS News World, Thursday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. It's all about you, so join me on social media, Talk to Tongie, all right? Talk to Tongie, DBS, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. All right, I gotta go. Bye. Hey, it's your friend Tongie from the Talk to Tongie show. This show is different because it's about you, inspiring you, motivating you right where you are. It's Thursday, DBS from 8 to 9 p.m. It's so much fun. I need you there. Talk to you soon. My name is Dr. Tongie. You're going to call me Tongie on this new show, Talk to Tongie, DBS, after DBS News World, Thursday nights from 8 to 9 p.m. It's all about you, so join me on social media, Talk to Tongie, all right? Talk to Tongie, DBS, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. All right, I gotta go. Bye. Dr. Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Dr. Tongie. We're going to do life together. We made it! What? Thank you for staying around. My name is Tongie, and welcome to the very first show of the Talk to Tongie show on our new home, DBS. If you cannot tell yet, I am so excited to be here. I'm excited because I'm from a small little town, Columbus, Mississippi. Hey, Columbus. And back in the day, we didn't dream of things like this. We were just trying to make certain that we did exactly what we were told to do, right? But I was different. And for all of those who are okay with being different, just be you. And I'm so serious. But before we start, I want to say a very thankful, grateful thank you to Miss Linda Dower, who, boy, for 4 hours, we sat with her executive team and we talked. And that was something that really made me feel welcomed because she listened. And that's rare. Normally folk will tell you what you're supposed to be doing, but she listened and she said, you know what, there's a place for this show. And I said, well, thank you. So thank you very much, Linda, for allowing me to literally do what I know that I was born to do, which is bring hope. Bring hope to those who may think that for whatever reason you don't have hope. Well, I'm here to tell you that although life can sometimes be really difficult, right? We know that. We do. You can do anything that you put your mind to. And I'm going to tell you a story. Once upon a time, about 52 years ago, I was born to a woman that at that age and time, she was 15 years old. My mom was 15. And she was a real good basketball player, is what I was told. She had an opportunity to go and do something that she hadn't done before, which was play in school. She lost her mom at a very young age. And so it was just her and her brother and sisters. But she had me, all right, at 15. But it was something about her upbringing, her telling me, even as a young person, that she called me Pootie. And she'd say, Pootie, you can do anything you put your mind to. So over and over again, I heard that. You can do anything you put your mind to. So I was putting my mind to a lot of things. I was. But at 6 years old, I was introduced to this man who could just do anything, and he knew all about you, is what I was told. And I believed it. So my relationship with, I call him Daddy, my relationship with God was something that I really took to heart. Because I wanted to know, who was this God that my mama was praying to, and she believed her prayers, and my Aunt Flora was praying to, and she believed her prayers. And I'm like, you know what? I want to know him too. So at 6, I asked him, would you come into my heart and would you let me live the life that I can dream about? So for all of those who want a relationship with him, 24/7, you can have it. Fast forward a little bit, and my upbringing was a little chaotic. My father wasn't in my life as much as I wanted him to, so I was always looking for someone to say, I love you, other than my mama. And it's something about little girls needing their daddies So I wanted to be a daddy's girl, and my relationship with Christ allowed me to be a daddy's girl, right? Fast forward a little bit, I got nominated for the Air Force Academy, and here I am thinking, you know what? I'm going to go to the Air Force Academy and I'm going to graduate and I'll be a commissioned officer and I'll travel the world. And then I get pregnant. Oops. Did I say that? Yep. And what could have been something as chaotic as a young girl getting pregnant in the project, right? It was something about my mama who wouldn't allow me to stay right where I was. Even when I thought the world was coming to an end and I'm just going to have this horrible life, she kept telling me, Pootie, you still can do anything you put your mind to. So my mind was, okay, I got myself in this. How do I get myself out of it? I get myself out of it by two things. One, a relationship with my daddy, and then two, education. So I'm real big on education. I just believe that being a student for the rest of your life is something that you really want to aspire to because you never want to think that you know it all, that you can do it all. I'm learning as I transitioned from Los Angeles, California to this amazing country, St. Lucia, that you build a community. That's how you get things done. You can't do it by yourself. Once upon a time, I thought I could. And then I quickly found out that no, it really does it takes people working and believing in your vision. So, why am I here? I was asked that question the other day. So, I mean, you could be off delivering babies and you could go and do whatever you want to do. But it's something about being in a place that makes you feel so alive. This country and the beautiful people that you guys are, I say us now, because I'm going to be a St. Lucian. It's remarkable. It's spectacular that you literally have everything that you need right here in this country. You do. You don't have to go outside of it unless it's just something you want to do. But I got here and I've been here now for about almost 2 years. And what I'm learning is that if I take it one day at a time, just one day at a time, one moment at a time, that I can realize a lot. I've done more since I've been here. I've felt more alive since I've been here than I've ever felt in my life. Seriously. So, who am I? I'm a mother of 3, and they're adult children. They are adult children, right? Oxymoron. I have 3 beautiful adults. I have 3 grandchildren. Yep, I do. And I have an amazing husband that, when I tell you that God really just created this man for me, he did. Because I am sort of difficult at times, but it's having someone in your corner to tell you that you can do it when the lights are about to be turned off or the business is not doing what it's supposed to be doing, and you get someone that tells you you can't quit, you gotta keep going. So I am a mother, a grandmother, a wife, but more importantly, I am someone who I believe that whatever your purpose is, you can do it. And we're going to get into that and into the person that's sitting to my left. Stay tuned. Tongie, I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Talk to Tongie. We're going to do life together. your girl, Dr. Tongie, and whenever I get ready for a show, I use a Toy Day food. A Toy Day food is a proud sponsor of the Dr. Tongie Show and Talk to Tongie. I never leave home without my lip conditioner and lip scrub from a Toy Day Club. It's perfect for this kind of weather and any activity. I'm Dr. Tongie from the Dr. Tongie Show and Dr. Tongie, and I endorse this product. This is Dr. Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Dr. Tongie. We're gonna do life together. Thank you so very much for staying tuned, all right? I want to especially thank Ep.1 for doing exactly what she said she was going to do. Man, this lipstick and sponsoring the show. You know, when you are in the presence of greatness and you know you are, it's something about honoring people that have gone before you, people that are doing exactly what they love to do. And I get excited around folk that are living from the inside out. I liken that kind of living to the soul. You know, the soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. And when that soul is intact, it's something that it's mind-boggling. So I've got a lady that I was introduced to when I came and met with the executive team here. And it was something about her. I just kept staring at her thinking, man, I feel a connection with this woman. And she was so kind and she was smiling and she was inviting. And I'm like, yeah, lady, I'm going to have you on my show. So I'm introducing, you probably know her, you know, from DBS, and she's been around and she knows her thing. And it's almost like the teacher's here and the student is saying, okay, teach me, teach me, teach. So without further ado, welcome to the show, our very first guest, Miss Lissa. Lissa. Lissa, oh my God, forgive me, please.
Absolutely, I'm going to forgive you because you have set me up, and I'm like, who is she talking about?
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out.
Oh my God.
Exactly introducing here. But
we're just going to have a conversation.
We are going to have a conversation.
We're going to get into
have a good time.
Absolutely,
and
we are.
I call her Doc.
Oh,
and Doc is right. We had an instant connection.
Yeah, we did.
And I had a connection with you even before.
Don't you dare do that.
Coming, stepping
I'm not
into
crying today.
our executive room. But absolutely, and I think you are right on a point, Doc, that when souls are indeed with good intent.
Yes, ma'am.
And when souls are also at peace with their purpose.
Aye.
Absolutely. I
like that.
Missions align.
They do.
And so we are, on behalf of DBS, let me just say thank you so much for believing that we can help you,
thank you.
And take your message further and to
Wow.
where you've started, that we
Yeah.
can absolutely continue
Thank you
with
very
you
much.
on what your purpose
Thank
is.
you.
So just from the executive team and all of the staff, let me just say thank you so much for believing in us
Thank
as
you
well.
so very much.
Yes.
Wow, mutually exclusive here. You're talking about reputation, right? Your reputation preceded you. I didn't do any homework. You know how you just kind of, talking, I'm DBS, blah, blah, blah. And this woman who's very well known on this island, and they've built everything just about. She says, is she still with Linda? And I said, yes, ma'am, she is. She says, oh, she's so kind. And I'm thinking, wow. Yep, she sure is. Oh, and so smart and so intelligent. That's you.
Well, thank you very much for that. It has taken years to really cultivate everything that I am professionally.
I got you.
Certainly everything I am on the personal level, I give that to family.
Amen.
Certainly to God and His grace, and then we'll get to that.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure in a minute or two.
Yes, we will.
To speak about God and His grace, and
Yes.
how no matter what we are facing,
Mm-hmm.
indeed, we can turn things around and still be
Absolutely.
impactful.
Absolutely.
And still be impactful along the way.
Absolutely. I like that. See? You see? I told you. You see? So who's going to start this conversation? You want me to start or you start?
No, you go.
Okay,
It's
I can
your
start?
show. I'm just here. I'm along for the ride.
Oh, I
it's
love
your
it.
show.
All right, here we go. I am really keen on building, and when you're building something, I like to build from scratch. I've been in business. I started my very first company at 25 years old. I was diagnosed with cancer in 1992. Can you imagine 3 children, all under the age of 10 years old? And after this thing with cancer, I knew that I didn't want to go back to a 9 to 5. So here I am praying, Lord God, would you give me an idea? Because when you want an idea, you don't ask for a good idea, you ask for a God idea. I had to learn that. So I asked for this God idea, and He gives me an idea for a nanny service. I'm thinking, Daddy, we black folk don't have nanny services. We are the nanny. And we laughed. And He still gave me the idea. And the name, Me and My Nana, is poignant for us. It means so very much, because that is what my children called my mother, Nana. And it was their comfort, their security. So I'm thinking, okay, we'll do a Me and My Nana. So we had this nanny service going on. And what I learned in that, when you launch something and you're thinking, oh boy, what am I doing here? Is that everyone that comes into your life in those moments really do serve a purpose. They carry capacity. They have that capacity for ability, and they've got everything that you need. And you really need folk when you're going into business. You do. You can't do it yourself. And I'm getting to this because not only are you a well-respected person on this island, okay, in this country, you are, okay, but you've got what I call the spirit of leadership. And I was taught that. I was taught that by the late, great Dr. Miles Monroe. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that when you're talking kingdom and kingdom principles. So your spirit is one where you're saying, yes, I know what I know. Yep, I've got all of the accolades and everything, the titles, but it's when you're carrying the spirit of leadership, you humble yourself. And it's not that you're less than, all right, because you know your potential, you know your capabilities and what you can do, but you hold another person's ladder. So would you just kind of talk on what does that mean to you when you're serving? You serve with your gifts, your talent, your skill set, but you're serving with your heart too.
I like that you've came up with this because
okay.
And it does encapsulate who I am really, because I started from the school level, and I understood during my days of student leadership.
Okay.
So I got involved in what we call the National Youth Council. I was
Okay.
on the student council throughout my secondary school
Wow.
years and
Okay.
tertiary, and then moved on to the National Youth Council, which is the big umbrella body, and served on the executive for something like 2 to 3 years.
Wow.
So I understood from very early the importance of being able
Yep.
to be that sort of foundational rock for others.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Representation
Mhm.
of those who may be not as capable as I
Gotcha.
am to represent themselves.
Absolutely.
In that
Absolutely.
respect.
Okay.
So that started from there, and as I grew and I chose my path
Mm.
and came into journalism, that became more important to me.
Aye.
Being able to tell the stories
Okay.
of individuals who are less in terms of social class, the
For
most
sure.
vulnerable individuals,
For sure.
children, very,
Yeah.
very close to my heart.
Yeah.
And for me, advocating
Mm.
for social change, advocating for individuals to have better opportunities.
Okay.
These things are
For sure.
important to me.
Okay.
And what is more within my control is how I interact with people within my circle as well. Because that's the true test
See.
of anything.
Absolutely.
Because we can all pontificate about how
Yep.
good we
Yep.
are as individuals, but the
Mhm.
true test
Yeah.
is within that circle.
You better believe it.
So for me, it has always been less than what I can derive from something as opposed to what can I give to others.
Wow.
So not a wealthy girl,
Wow.
but what I can do, as you indicated earlier,
Mm.
pass on what I've learned. So
Yeah.
along the way,
Yeah.
other individuals have helped me.
Wow.
Along the way, something was seen in me, and I
Yeah.
want to mention Pete and Val, because if we're speaking about the journalism now,
For sure.
Pete and Val, whom I refer to as my journalistic God. I know I shouldn't really
Yeah,
put God
for
in
sure,
that,
for
but
sure.
certainly he's very much, the sort of mentor,
Okay.
my go-to in figured teenage girl.
Okay.
And we could all speak to that as women. We have all
Absolutely.
sorts of insecurities, but I've
Absolutely.
always been this full-figured
Gotcha.
girl as long as I've known myself.
Mm.
At school, I always had to do more to
Wow.
prove that I am capable of being in a particular thing, activity, whatever it is that I wanted to do.
Mm.
I studied harder,
Right.
yeah, so that to make sure that I got my accolades and I got the recognition by doing and achieving.
Okay.
I had friends who could get by on their looks, and that's great.
Mm.
But in order for me to be able to have a circle of friends, I had to bring something to the table.
Oh, come on.
So that taught me that no matter what, it is me.
Gotcha.
It have to rely on me. No one else is going to come to my rescue. That's not going to happen. So just being so self-aware,
Okay.
and I live in a state of self-awareness. I know that's something we could talk to
For sure.
later
For
on
sure.
as well.
Absolutely.
Not everyone lives in a state of self-awareness,
Mhm.
but I've had this from a very, very early age.
Okay.
And because I'm aware and very conscious about what my experience was and the impact that it had on me, I was determined to lend a hand to others. There are many who have come through the doors of DBS television,
Okay.
and I have assisted, I have trained, I have passed on, skills
For
too,
sure.
and I'm sure they probably sitting at home and they're smiling.
Yeah.
They are spread across, through the Caribbean. They're up in the U.S. Many of them are still here at home, and we do talk quite often. But I am very generous with my giving
Wow.
because this is, for me, this is how I get fulfillment. It's early on I had a conversation with someone and they were asking about getting something, and I said it's not about the money. If it was about the money for me, this would not be my chosen
Come on.
profession.
Yep.
It's not going to happen. Money, and this is not going to happen. But it is the fulfillment that you get at the end of the day of being able to do something to advance someone else.
Wow.
Because that is priceless. And I have seen that how I have come in and impacted the lives of other individuals, and the residual effect. They have gone on to further their own education.
Good.
And then they now in a position, they are able to earn more for their to benefit their families. And the effect, the butterfly effect goes on and on and on and on.
For sure.
And so for me, that is more important than any dollar amount that can come through it all. And I know somebody say, oh, that's altruistic, but I am a firm believer, and if you want to see change, you have to be it. We can't sit back and complain about things and not participate and literally make personal sacrifices to see the change that we all ask for and ask about.
Gotcha.
I know I said a mouthful.
No, but I'm going to unravel all of that. I'm going to try it anyway. My takeaway of everything that you said was the change that you want to see. And it started with you literally getting to know who you are first, right? Having to work a little harder.
Absolutely.
And then saying, you know what? I don't want anyone else to go through this. So I'll help so that they won't have to suffer that. And that speaks volumes of who I was introduced to, the spirit of this woman. I can definitely attest to wanting change. I had this social media platform, right? And I just said, I think Daddy, I just want to be good. If that makes any sense. I don't want to give anyone a hard time in this life. Life is hard enough. You don't need me telling you how short your hair is or boy you look. Eesh. I want to give what I want. So I changed my life and asked him, just work on me. And this is an everyday thing. So my only competition is me. I don't have any competition with anyone. I feel like every time I see a green tree, that's enough money for everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely right.
Absolutely.
The only competition really is to yourself.
Come on.
And as we celebrated,
yes,
yesterday was International Women's Day.
Yes.
And I often hear this banded, that women are their worst enemy and things of that sort. And people talk about cat fights when women are together. And women don't support each other. I think there's a degree of truth to that. And it is something that's worthy of dissecting in national conversation.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think that every woman or women who perhaps fall into that
for sure
bracket are absolutely conscious that this is what they're doing.
Okay.
I think that we are a product of what our experiences are.
Okay.
And so at the end of the day, we tend to project a lot.
For sure.
We tend to project our pains.
Okay.
And when we do that, we are indeed hurting other people.
Oh, absolutely.
And so before we go to break, I spoke earlier about living in a constant state of awareness. And how I achieve this is that I may not necessarily be able to do it daily.
Okay.
But certainly the weekend will come and I will take a moment.
Good.
And I will reflect on what my week was. And it's not just reflecting on, what did you do? How many people you spoke to, or what task did you have to get done? But you need to reflect on how did I respond to certain situations the week.
That's good.
Take time to assess how did I feel in certain situations? Why do I feel this particular way.
Absolutely.
Or there were many things I did not get ticked off on my checklist, and I wonder why that is. Am I procrastinating? Why am I procrastinating?
Okay.
And so, you know, in effect, I sit myself down and we have a real conversation.
I love that.
And oftentimes people say, well, just don't answer yourself back. But
you have to.
You must answer yourself
Please
back.
answer yourself.
in order for
It
you
matters.
to really get down to the root of things.
Absolutely.
And then it has to take you being brutally honest.
Right.
Because if you're not prepared to be brutally honest with yourself, you can't expect anyone else around you to be honest with you, or even to begin to take you seriously as well.
That's good.
So,
Okay.
these are the things that I've just learned along the way in my little life. And,
Yeah.
You know, being able to pass these things on.
Uh-huh.
But I know that we're due for a break.
We are. And I want to get into what you said right after this break. Please stay tuned. Hey, connect with us on social media, either at Talk to Tongie or at DBS TV, right?
Yes.
All right, stay tuned. This is Talk to Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Talk to Tongie. We're going to do life together. Hey, it's your girl, Dr. Tongie. And whenever I get ready for a show, I use a Toy Day food. A Toy Day food is a proud sponsor of the Dr. Tongie Show and Talk to Tongie. I never leave home without my lip conditioner and lip scrub from Toy Day Club. It's perfect for this kind of weather and any activity. I'm Dr. Tongie from the Dr. Tongie Show and Talk to Tongie, and I endorse this product. This is Talk to Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Talk to Tongie. We're going to do life together. All right, we're back. Thank you so very much for hanging out with Talk to Tongie, my very first show. I'm really excited. You can't see the cartwheels that I'm doing, but I am like a little kid. All right, so I've got an in-house personality who just does things the way she does things, and she does them so well. Miss Lissa Joseph, my very first guest. I needed her to be here because with International Women's Month now, I think the UN is saying month, but I think it's every day because a woman shows up every day, and we need our sisters to let us know that, hey, you know, fix your crown. If you're getting upset, turn that frown upside down. So with that being said, we were talking about literally living a life that matters, right? You and I share a commonality. 1992, I'm diagnosed, I'm losing weight. There was this pill called Dexatrim, and I thought that I could take these pills and get real skinny, and then I got too skinny. My mom called up. I was married to my very first husband, God rest his soul. I'm going to tell you the backdrop on that story, too. It's good. Hi, Doris. His wife and I are really good friends. How about that? I know, right? So, and here I am going through this thing, and it's cancer, and I'm angry. Oh man, I didn't know the difference between mad and angry. Now I know you don't get mad, you get angry, right? I was mad, and I'm thinking, but Daddy, I'm taking my children to church every Wednesday night and BTU on Sunday evenings, and we're going to church, and but I call on your name, and I teach them your ways, and I got cancer. So imagine, if you will, at 22 years old, I was diagnosed in 22, went through radiation therapy in 94, and then sitting at my desk one day, I was a case manager over in West Point, Mississippi, and I hear a voice say, "Your faith has healed you." And I'm thinking, oh, so you know me, I before I was saved and sanctified, I used to have a tongue on me. He will do things in your life. And I'm running to the office saying, yes, because I believed it. I took him at his word. My scripture of choice was 1 Peter 2:24, or Isaiah 53:5. And I didn't want to go through it, Lisa. I just did not, because that was a scary time. And my thing was, you heal me from this, and I'm gonna live. I'm going to live. So now every day I'm intentional. I'm intentional with my prayers. I'm intentional with my hellos. How are you? I just believe that you have no idea where people are or what they're going through, and you're being nasty just one time, thinking, well, I'll just get it right tomorrow. What if tomorrow doesn't come? Not for you, but for that person that you were nasty to, So I don't, someone says, well, you're trying to be perfect. Yes, I am, because that Hebrew word means mature in everything that I say and everything that I do. So I gotta be intentional. You are living your life and it's golden. And you go to the doctor. And how did you get there?
If only it were that
I know.
easy.
I know.
And if
I know.
only
For
it
the sake of
happened
time, right?
as simply
Yeah.
as just a doctor's visit. But for me, that was not the experience. These stories can get very,
sure.
very long, but I'm going
sure.
to try to
Yes, ma'am.
compact it as possible. So I mentioned earlier
Okay.
that, always, heavy set, full-figured girl.
Okay.
And I did not know then, and certainly I suppose it was an evolving, medical term at the time, but certainly polycystic ovarian syndrome. What I suffered with that for years.
Gotcha.
And having difficulty with the menstrual cycle. So
sure.
there would be one time that I would, just don't see my period for, years. And I love it. Hey, who wouldn't love that? And I think I started experiencing that from, I started my period at age 10. I could remember it clearly. I don't know what, my 10th birthday.
Okay.
And so, and by age 12, I was already experiencing the skipping of periods and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's important
It
for,
is very
because
important.
Women and the reproductive health, we're not spending enough time talking about these things as women.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we treat the period as some sort of a dirty
Bother.
thing that we need to hide
Yep.
away from and all. But it is so important, and I've come to, there's this thing that I say, period, please don't kill me. Yeah?
Wow.
Because this is what was happening to me.
Okay.
So with the polycystic ovarian syndrome, and as time went on, after years of not seeing that period, you find that I suddenly got a period, and the period just wouldn't stop.
Wow.
Wouldn't stop. It wouldn't stop. It wouldn't stop. So it would continue for months and months, and then of course there is not just the excessive bleeding, there's excessive blood clots, and huge blood clots.
Okay.
And I'm sure women out there with PCOS, they probably, can, or any of those cousin conditions, the, fibroids and so forth, they can attest to that.
For sure.
But of course, I went to the gynecologist and, got, the meds and, be able to stop the bleeding and so forth. But here's the thing. In my family, on the maternal side, at least that I know of, from my mom from my grandmother to my mom to my aunts and even my sisters, we've all had issues with our periods, the womb, the reproductive. Yes, we've all had those issues. And there it came, then, I had an aunt who just died.
Oh, come on.
Young,
I'm so sorry.
age 54. And she just died within months of falling ill.
Wow.
And then we were told later on that it was uterine cancer.
Okay.
Now, oftentimes we would have exchanged notes on our,
For sure.
on what we were experiencing. And it clicked to me that, oh my, that I now need to be exceedingly vigilant. But as with anything else, as women, we tend to explain away things that are happening to us. We do not take enough time to pause and say, hey, this is serious. Or we may complain about things and people are not really listening to us. That happens to us a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
And we have to be able to know how to push through those things.
Right.
So at the end of the day, following the death of my aunt, and of course, yes, I'm awakened, I'm stuff, but then I have the situation under control. But then all of a sudden I'm developing very, very terrible cramps when those periods are. So the cramps are coming on, the doctor gives me stuff to alleviate the cramps because we're dealing with the symptoms at all times.
Okay.
Until it gets to a point where it's no longer just about the cramps, and then I'm seeing that. Well, you were losing weight, but I was on the opposite spectrum, and then I had a rising stomach, and constantly.
Wow.
And because I work so much, and because I, did not spend enough time taking care of myself and not eating properly because you're working and you're on the go.
Right.
Oh my God, this is gas. This is going gas because I'll take some gas meds. It will alleviate the symptoms and whatever. But by the time 2020 came around and the world was being struck with COVID-19, things for me, I was in my own crisis.
Right.
And at that time, I remember it quite vividly. At the time, I was employed with the Government Information Service, the GIS. It was a Tuesday.
Okay.
We had a parliament sitting. I was in that parliament.
Oh, wow.
Doing the broadcast. And as always, because I learned how to live with pain. That's another thing we do as women. We learn how to live with pain.
Absolutely,
and just push through and get things done because other people are depending on us, We can't take time for ourselves. But seated there, I am in excruciating pain, can't even lift my legs to be able to walk, and I said, good God, what's really happening? Wow. But then I had to leave in the house. It was the lunch break, getting back to the office and stuff. I started to vomit. Oh, Lisa. And for me, vomiting is a no-no. Don't do this.
Gotcha.
And by the time that started to happen, Doc, immediately I knew. I knew that the end for me was nigh. Because how my body felt, everything, I knew that was it.
And that's a part right there that just it almost takes you away. It really does. Before the signs and symptoms of cancer, sometimes the mental faculties will absolutely.
And since I knew that, and I remember I tell you, I've been living in a state of self-awareness.
Okay.
And so for me, I wasn't fearful. I was outside. I had to pull up my car.
Yeah.
And I stepped out, I opened up the door, and I looked up to the sky. And I said, Father, I am not afraid. And I am being completely honest.
Wow.
I am not afraid.
Wow.
It is not for me. But there are those who depend on me. And so I prayed for two things. I prayed for time, but it was time.
Okay.
But time for two reasons.
Okay.
One, my mother, and I have a disabled sister. My mom has been taking care of her for all of her life.
Wow.
I am the breadwinner.
Okay.
If I go,
I gotcha.
what's happening with them?
So you're still concerned. And
I'm still concerned.
Yeah, about others.
Yes.
And then you're going through this.
Still concerned. The second thing I said is, Father, please, I ask you for more time. For years I have prayed for you to send me a man, a partner who would see me, who would understand me, who would love me unconditionally, who would be at my side. Give me more time with him, please, because by then we'd only been, with each other for something like 2 years. Just beginning to blossom into a solid relationship.
Okay.
These are the two things. And then you spoke of your voice.
Yeah.
And I had that voice. And my voice said to me, pray. I prayed. But I didn't pray for me.
Lisa.
I did. And I'm being honest.
I know you are.
My prayer was for others first. And I said, Father, I know your hands are filled right now. COVID-19. And at that time, remember, very early in COVID, we knew of the cases in Italy. We saw the horrific images coming out of New York.
Okay.
And I said, God, there are people, thousands of people, and I'm getting the bumps, and I know
I am too.
I
am too.
Because these are emotional things for me.
Yeah, for sure.
And I said, God, I know, and I pray for them. I pray for the souls that have gone before, that you will take them into your arms and give them the peace and love that they so deserve.
Wow.
I prayed for my mom. I prayed because I know how strong a bond the two of us have. And I prayed for him to give her the strength for her to be able to go through what I knew was coming. I prayed for my sister because, again, we just have each other,
Yeah.
And then it came to me that I needed to sing. And there's this song that, as a Catholic, I surrender. That was my song. That is what the Spirit sent to me. And that's what I sang. And I stayed there in the car, and I just belted it out through the pain, through the tears. Yeah. And I'm sorry I'm crying,
No.
This is my story, and it is unreservedly my story.
Yes.
And I prayed for God to ease the pain for me at the side of that road. Then I found the strength. I called up my partner and I said, hey, you need to come for me because I can't drive anymore. And he had to leave work to come get me. Parked slumped over that car. And that was it. I went home. That was the Tuesday. By Thursday, I was just in bed, couldn't move at all, couldn't report for work. And by the Friday, fainted.
Oh, jeez.
I had simply lost consciousness at that point. And I knew I was drifted. And I can hear the panic of my mother, the panic of my sister. Yeah. And they were trying to do everything they could. And then we just had to, hospital time, because I'm hard-headed, I'm very hard-headed. Going to the hospital for me,
I still don't
was not really something that I wanted to do. Thank you, Junior. But going to the hospital now made everything very real, because still when you are going through such difficult things, you don't want it to be real.
No, you do not.
You really don't want it to be real. And getting there made it very real. And everybody was trying to figure out what was happening with me, and my stomach had just ballooned.
Really?
Just absolutely ballooned. And so maybe the doctors were thinking bowel obstruction and all of those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, to really get there, I know the doctors were scrambling, because all I heard them say is that she's sepsis, got to move.
dear
And
God.
they were moving from Victoria Hospital. I can remember that. It was the day that they were now transitioning to the OKEU hospital.
Okay.
And so they had to pack me back into the ambulance and then to go up to OKEU, and I was the first surgery patient there. But I want to say how good God is and how he answered my prayers.
Yeah.
How he answered my prayers.
Talk on that.
So while, trying to diagnose, and that doesn't mean that our doctors don't know what they're doing, but and as a physician,
For
you
sure.
too would know that, because
sure.
it's really about
It is.
trying to find out,
Absolutely.
you try this,
Yep.
you try that,
You
trying
do.
to see what's
Differential
going on.
diagnoses, yes.
But God sent, and I hope, he doesn't mind that I call his name, because I always want to be truthful and give, the praise as the story is. Right there, I heard someone saying, but isn't that the lady who's on TV? And
Wow.
but in my days and in all of the pain, because
Yeah.
nothing that they were giving me was taking that pain away.
For sure.
Dr. Cabier, and he came and he said, don't I know you? We've met. But the truth is, we had met something like maybe 18 years before.
Are you
When he had
serious?
first come to St. Lucia.
Aye.
And we had met at another doctor's office where he was, they were doing some laser
For sure.
treatment stuff. And I had gone in again because of the PCOS and all of that. And then he said, but you have PCOS. He remembered.
Oh, come on. Do you know how many patients?
And how
the
many years had gone by.
Aye.
And he remembered, and he said, you have PCOS. And I said, yes. And he said, don't worry.
Oh, come on.
Don't worry. We will take care of you. And that
Prayer
was it.
answered. Prayer
And that
answered.
was it.
Wow.
He said, I think I know what's going on. So in the end of it, after getting out of ICU and so forth, in the end, what was found, of course, my ovaries completely dead, completely destroyed.
Okay.
And they were twisting around the ligaments, so the contortion there
For sure.
happening. So that was causing the pain. And then
pain.
I had a 20-pound tumor in there. So by the time we did biopsy and so forth, they found that there was stage 1 cancer.
Oh, Lisa.
Yeah?
Yeah.
In both. Yeah, so the cancer was in both of the ovaries. And then they said, you know what, you need to go in. You need to go back. You need to remove the womb because chances are,
It
yes?
can metastasize.
And again, I wrestled with it because I got many, many voices will come at you
For
when you're
sure.
in crisis, because really and truly, everybody does really want to help.
They do.
But you must learn how to be still. Even in all of my crises, I knew how to be still.
Okay.
And something, you just block out everything that's going on around you. So my mother kept telling me, well, what are you deciding? Because time is of the essence. What are you deciding? And I'm like, Mom, I don't know. I will let you know. I will let you know. And one night,
Yes.
just around midnight,
Yeah.
I got up. I said, okay. I knocked on her door and I said, bedroom door, and I said, we are going to do the surgery.
Wow. So you knew.
And I calmly walked and I went to bed.
Uh-huh.
And let me tell you, Doc, I slept.
Had you
decision
been
made.
sleeping before?
I slept. I slept it through. And by the time I went in and had everything removed, then the cancer, endometrium, stage 3, right there.
Come on.
Right there, endometrium.
How
in the
dare you
womb.
leave us hanging? I am so sorry. Right after this break, we're going to come back. Thank you so very much, Lisa and Priska, who's watching. They love you, Auntie. Okay. 470-534-2216. Thank you for your engagement. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly.
Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to.
I'm your girl, Dr. Tongie. We're going to do life together. Hey, it's your girl, Dr. Tongie. And whenever I get ready for a show, I use a Toy Day food. A Toy Day Food is a proud sponsor of the Dr. Tongie Show and Dr. Tongie. never leave home without my lip conditioner and lip scrub from T2T. It's perfect for this kind of weather and any activity. I'm Dr. Tongie from the Dr. Tongie Show and Dr. Tongie, and I endorse this product. This is Dr. Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly.
Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to.
I'm your girl, Dr. Tongie. We're going to do life together. We're back. Thank you so very much. I know I'm saying thank you a lot, but you have no earthly idea the gratitude that I'm feeling right now for you being here. Thank you for your engagement. 470-534-2216. If you have a testimony or you just want to say something about what you've gone through, that is what this show is about. And we were talking to Miss Lissa Joseph. I got it right. And to hear you say what you've gone through, and I believe that this is the first time that, well, the nation now knows that we, as strong as we are, we're only as strong as the friend that holds our ladder. Going through cancer is one of the most devastating. It is. I was 22 years old. I had 3 children, and they were all under the age of 10 years old. My prayer was, please don't let me die. Can I just see them like grow up? Because I didn't want them to be separated. And that was just too much for one little lady, my mama, to take care of 3 kids. So my thing was just, if you would, I'm bartering here now, if you would just let me have a little bit more time so that I can watch him grow. And not only did he extend my life, that was 30 years ago, 31 years this year. Lisa, it's one of those things you'll never forget, even though you know you're healed, right? How can you go back? And this is just a proverbial question. How can you go back to living a life if you were afraid when you go through something like this? How can you go back to getting up and just having a bad day just because you're having a bad day? Someone didn't speak to you, or the barista got your coffee wrong, or, just the nuances when you're dealing with something that man didn't give to you. You see?
Absolutely, Doc. You're right. Man did not give me this life.
No.
And I know that now more than ever, that point resonates with me. And I am more concerned now with doing the right thing.
There you go.
I am more concerned about doing the right thing than being right. Because people love, when I want to be right. Yeah. In an argument, I need to win it.
How dare you put that? You know it's almost time for us to go. How dare you do that? Oh, that's unpackable.
But I am less concerned with that. And I'm more concerned about making sure that the environment that I am in is right. And when I say right, I'm unreservedly right with my Creator.
There you go.
That's important. I am not going to be part of something that I feel is not holding on to the principles of what I know the Lord has prescribed for us. I am not sanctimonious or anything. I'm not, as we say in Senusha Potole Eglise or anything of that sort.
Okay.
I know that there are things that God calls upon us to do.
Yes.
And because it's almost like an exchange. I see it as an exchange. He has granted to me, and I continue to pray, because although going through the chemotherapy,
for sure,
I have not done the radiation, because that's a whole other story,
for sure,
and that we could get in some other time.
Okay.
But it's almost as if we've had an exchange done. I'm doing this for you. What are you going to do for me? I know people say God doesn't ask you for anything in return. Yes, He does. That's my viewpoint.
He does.
That's my viewpoint. Don't
When you're
ask me to quote
relational.
any Bible
There you
verse
go.
for you,
There you go.
to prove it. I can't, but I can tell you
Yeah.
is what I have lived and what I know. Because even before falling so deathly ill, one day I stayed there and I said, you know, I was speaking to my partner. I said, you know, it just blurted out. If we do everything that God wants us to do, He will take care of us. I blurted this out to him. This came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I can clearly remember
Yeah,
that we were
yeah.
standing next to the closet
Uh-huh.
and we were packing things away. And this is what I said.
Well.
If we do the things that God wants us to do, He was going to take care of us.
care of us.
I didn't know then what that meant. But I
Wow.
know it now.
You know it now.
And so at the end of the day, you talk about living and the fear. You say in your opening, fear is nothing.
It's nothing.
It really it is nothing. But you have to live through it.
But you have to.
You have to live through the fear in
Yes, you
order
do.
for you to know, to reduce it
Absolutely.
to nothing.
Absolutely.
You have to face it head on.
That's
And
it.
when you do,
Uh-huh.
nothing anyone does to you doesn't faze you. Sometimes my mother comes and she says, you know, can you believe it? I said, Mom, really? And she's probably laughing now because this is what I say in my household. In the scheme of things, where does that rank? And that's what I do to because we're human.
Yeah, we
when I
are.
feel the day is not going as I planned it out to
Yeah.
be, and you know, when stuff happen, I pause and I say, hey, really, Lissa, in the
Yeah.
scheme of things, where does
Where
that
does that-
fall? What
that's
was that
good.
about?
Can I have that? That's going to be mine now, okay?
Gladly. You
I
can
like-
have that. And then living intentionally, because I know our time is getting shorter.
Absolutely.
Living intentionally, Doc, you're so right.
Yeah.
Because no more, and I want to speak to me, no more can I simply get up and just think that I'm in control of everything.
No, ma'am. No.
You know, I have 10 people that I need to interview and I'm going to go get it done and I'm going to do this and I'm
Yeah.
going to write a great story. More than ever, I know I used to rely on God before, but more than ever, I know exactly where my source of power
You better
is.
believe it, baby.
And you have to be prepared for that to be unshaken. That's why I say I'm more concerned about doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And so for me, I don't sweat the small stuff. People want to say whatever they want to say. They want to presume what they want to presume about my life. They may, whatever it is, does not worry me. I am living with the biggest pain that a woman can ever live with.
I know.
I am
know.
never going
know.
to bear children.
I know.
And maybe I need to come back on your show because that's another thing, the power of the tongue. And I can remember at age 12, when I used to say, because I was living in a house with strong, independent women.
yeah.
And I always would say, well, me, I don't want to be married and I don't want to have children. Well, guess what? I'm still not married, although God has given me a great partner. We're working our way into there.
For sure.
But I'm never going to have the kids. The tongue at age 12 spoke it.
Ouch.
Never going to have the kids.
Wow.
And while I was busy with my career and busy with, you know, racking up my accomplishments,
Right.
I didn't really think that I wanted to be a mom. And I had all sorts of reasons why I didn't want to be a mom, being independent and all of that. There were so many reasons that I didn't want to. But once God spoke and He gave me what I prayed for, because I did pray for that partner, and that partner was given to me, then everything became clearer.
Gotcha.
And then I began to see my purpose
Aye.
as a woman. Not independent woman, but I got to see my purpose as a woman.
There you go, baby.
And that desire started bubbling in me.
Yeah, there you go.
And then take over. So I'm living with that. And I'm getting to learn how I can be just as effective as if I were a biological mom. So living intentionally, yes, there is power in that.
Absolutely.
No matter what you're going through.
Absolutely.
But that's a whole separate
I know.
other
That's why I'm saying,
conversation.
yep, there's going to be a part 2 to this because I told you she was great. Man, I'm sitting at the feet of someone who, when everything you were saying, I've got these, everything you were saying was just, I'm thinking, but she wasn't in my life. How did she know to say that? Because that's how I live. live as if this is my last day. And if this was my last day, I literally could say, thank you, Daddy.
Yeah.
It was worth being homeless. It was worth, and don't hear me when I say this, because I am a victim of rape. I am a victim of molestation. I've lived through that. You see? And to unpack all of that, and then still believe that this little black girl from Mississippi could go on and be a doctor. There were two things I wanted to do. I wanted to be a medical doctor, and I wanted to be an actress. So I got to do a movie with Angie Stone. Yep. Hey, Angie. And I got to be a doctor. Wow. But it wasn't in the doctor. See, he allowed me to do that because it's the title. And oftentimes when your skin's a little darker, you gotta have a little title or two, but you know it's not in the title. I literally get to do what I want to do, what I was born to do. That's to encourage,
Yes.
to motivate, to inspire. I pray that I've done that. I want it to be one of the best mommies, right? And although I'm so sorry that you're biological, but I've got a school in Ancillary that I've got 94 babies. So what are you saying, Doc? If I didn't birth them, he still gave them to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you got so much work to do. Yeah. With all your babies.
You're roping me in.
I know, right? I know, right?
On live television, I can't say no. You're roping me in.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. I don't know what that was like for you. You're having to go through the chemo and you know, reproductive cancers
For sure.
are
For sure.
certainly, you know,
Yes, they
it's
are.
on the rise in St. Lucia.
Yeah.
Cervical, endometrium, ovarian,
Really?
absolutely on the rise here in St. Lucia.
Okay.
And I know that there are women out there with their stories, and you know, we want them to be able to share with us.
Absolutely.
You know, could ask a question or two if you want that, make a comment. And our telephone line is 451-9788. That's 451-9788. So you can give us a call so that we can, you know, chit chat. There's also the WhatsApp line as well. I can see that it's on screen at the moment. But what was your experience like going through chemo? And that was back in '92, and I know
Yeah.
that there've been some advancements with
absolutely.
chemo since then.
I was actually radiation.
Chemotherapy. You did radiation.
I did radiation therapy.
Okay.
I had thyroid cancer that had metastasized to my vocal cords.
Ooh.
I know, right? And I didn't know this until the oncologist comes in. And I remember my mother-in-law being there. Maddie Jordan, I hope you're watching, because I love you so, so very much. And she's a dear, dear friend of mine and a grandmother. But I remember the doctor coming in and saying, yes, it was cancer. Yes, it did spread, but we got it. And I remember my mother-in-law being there, and my Aunt Flora and my mom Annie being there. And it didn't dawn on me until after the fact, if that makes any sense.
Yes, it
because
does.
the night before, I'm literally thinking, you know, if God doesn't step in and heal me, then I didn't even want to go through the therapy. I didn't even want to go through the surgery, because I was so religious. Ay, that's another story. We'll get to that the next show. But I was so religious that I literally, if he doesn't heal me this way, then he's not God. Ouch. Who am I to say that? So it was more for me mental. You know, of course, they ablated the thyroid. I'm on Synthroid now. I live with Thyroxine now. And that was the scariest time in my life. But it was the time where my life's trajectory shifted. And I knew then that if I don't have him, seriously, if I'm not really running after him, I'm going to lose my mind. And I did have to lose my mind a couple of times to get the mind of Christ. There's no way you can have a mind of yours and think you're going to do what you're supposed to be doing, because we're so great. We all are really great. We really are. Because he's great and we're his. So we're great. But now I get it. That living even the more now. I go out of my way when I see a police officer and say, thank you so very much for serving. I go out of my way when I see women that are doing their thing, and I want to encourage them, or see men that just want the opportunity. So, wow. We got a lot to talk about, don't we, lady?
A lot to talk about. And
we do.
You mentioned that experience there, and I'm thinking too that there is a humbling that you go through when you go through cancer.
Yeah.
You know, you have to really, almost like you detach yourself from yourself.
Yeah.
In order for you to be able to go through this, because you don't recognize yourself.
No, you don't. No, you
I
don't.
know that after my first chemo session, a few days after the first session, there I was, I just happened to just pass to run my, hands through my hair.
Oh, I know about
and
that too.
that clump
Yep.
stayed right there.
Yep. I know.
And I froze for a moment, and then I'm like, okay, this is real. It's really happening.
Yeah.
And I had to make a choice of whether I am going through that door that's already open and I can't do nothing about it. I have to go through it in order to get to the other side. And I had to be tough. Because even when, again, as women, we are always thinking about others.
Yep.
Those who are close to us, those whom we love.
Yeah.
And I couldn't give myself a slightest break to seem weak, vulnerable in the moment
For sure.
that I'm incapable of being able to go through it, because I have to think about my mother.
Wow.
How is she going to be able to withstand all of this?
Even in that.
It was a lot for her. So already having to care for me, because
sure.
of course you are in that weakened state,
sure.
and I couldn't, put that burden on her as well, of my emotional state. So had to toughen up
Yeah.
to be able to go through all of it. And so
Wow.
at the end of the day, you won't recognize yourself.
For sure you won't.
Physically, you're not recognizing yourself. Emotionally, all sorts of thoughts
Right.
are going through your mind.
Yeah.
And you have to get to that place
Absolutely.
where you're totally uncomfortable in order for you to shed that skin and get accustomed to this new birth that you're going through. I don't know how else to
you're not getting off the hook like that. There will be a part 2. Can I just say thank you so very much for those who are engaging with us. Proud of you, ladies. 2 strong, phenomenal women. Thank you so very much. I have another one that says, great show tonight with Lissa. I hope many women who are in similar situations can get inspired by Lissa opening up to the public. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I just want to say, as part of our little, promo there for part 2.
Yeah.
Next time around, I want us, we will talk about
Yes.
how do you go through it,
Right.
and going through cancer.
Yes.
It's like going through any other turbulent time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we can liken it to anything. There's certain skills that we survivors learn.
Honey. Yep.
And then, of course, there is that peril of not allowing yourself to dream. Now, that's in the dark. That's the dark of the back of the mind.
You better believe
Yeah?
it. Yep.
These things, as survivors, we are constantly living in a state of dread.
For sure we are.
And then it's almost as if we stop hoping. Some of us stop dreaming. How do we begin to change that around?
She's back
so
here. She's back.
Next time
She's back.
around, Doc,
Absolutely.
that's where I want to go.
Wow. I don't know about you, but Thank you. I love you. I love you.
I love
I
you.
love you.
Let's say that to each other
Wow.
more, friend.
Thank you so very much for being a part of my journey. This is our thing. We're doing life together. I am committed to living. So if I'm in your neighborhood and I've got this little guy that loves to carry his camera around, would you say hi? Thank you, Kendrick Williams. I love you so very much. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Lord, for answering my prayers. Thank you, Taisha, Triad, and Morgan, and my grandchildren, Idris, Kendrick, and of course, I'm going to get my husband. Thank you, baby. I'm your friend. Talk to Tongie. I want to see what you've got to say later on. All right? We may do some after the show things. I love you. Thank you so very much. God bless you. Bye. This is Talk to Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly.
Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to.
I'm your girl, Talk to Tongie. We're going to do life together.
You're watching DBS,